Welcome to another episode of Sunday Scoops. And today
Featuring
again, we're featuring some
some
of
of
the
the,
early
what you call them, the greats.
Rocksteady giants. I'm
Absolutely.
not reaching them past great. I'm a giant.
Well,
Keith and Tex, dynamic duo. And of course,
Rudy Mills.
Mr. John Jones himself, Rudy Mills.
There you go. So, wherever you are this Sunday afternoon, just push back your chair or your furniture, get your favorite little thing. If you need any more spirits than what we're gonna throw down on you this afternoon, and we want you to enjoy Sunday Scoops with Rudy Mills and Keith and Tex. I guess we're gonna get off the thing. Oh,
Yeah, we have to start off with music, and the best music on the planet, let me tell you, Rocksteady, although it is short-lived, we kick it off with Stop That Train. We
Dry
did
your
not
brakes.
play out the whole
Yeah.
line.
No,
Dry your brakes,
on the
Scotty.
train. Yeah, man.
Yes.
Dry your brakes. We have to let in
have to
the
let
big
on.
man, Tex.
Yes. I tell you.
Mr. Texas, welcome to Sunday Scoop, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Glad to be here.
Well, look,
man.
young man like Gregory Hines.
I'm
I bet
telling
what
you,
people call
yeah.
him Gregory Hines.
It must be. But the train taking on another passenger as well. So we're getting
Right.
there. We're getting there.
Gentlemen, I'm having technical difficulties. Can I log off and log back on?
We're hearing you good enough. We're hearing you. We're seeing you loud and
I have a drop down dropping on my screen. I can see one of you.
not a problem. Keep going. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
man.
ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just to let you know, Keith and Tex, and you have the original. This song was produced by Derek Harriott, and I tell you, Derek Harriott is one of the biggest producers because lots of artists. But the duo, as you know them, Keith and Tex, was originally Keith Rowe and Philip Dixon, original from St. Andrew Parish. And, Richie, back in the early days, they auditioned with Prince Boston, Coxsone, and Duke Reed, and the man them said, no, star, we
Well,
can't do it, we don't know.
I want to hear from them because how voices like these, market, the period was a very competitive period. But Tex, let's get the ball rolling. You have been in the business for a bit, and we want to ask you to kind of just help us to set the tone for the viewers and the listeners out there. The atmosphere at the time, your experiences. You guys, you were part of a group. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. As a youth, we used to clown around, play football with guys, and we listened to music from abroad, everything. I never had any big intentions of me becoming a singer or anything like that. But how this all started is that I heard that there was a group of guys rehearsing some songs in a piece of land called Francis Bush, which was close to Pembroke Hall. So I was curious. I decided to go have a listen. And there were four guys, and they were singing. They sounded pretty good, and they were singing some rock R&B from the States. I decided to join in and become the Fifth Harmony or whatever, and it sounded like it was good to go. So, cut a long story short, we tried to record it. We went for an audition to Duke Reed, and it didn't work well because we were nervous. So, three of the guys decided to drop out of the group, and that left Keith and myself to continue on. We rehearsed for a period of time, came up with some songs, and boom, we went to Derek Harriott and he recorded us, and that's how we became Keith and Tex.
Yeah, well, Keith is in studio with us, so I want to hear his tip because I know in those days it's a regular thing, Cox will tell him, Johnson, where you come here for to mash up my business, come out the studio. Who tell
Yeah,
you so
Duke Reed wasn't very like it was Glady at the time was the guy who was doing the audition, and he unceremoniously
Just run you
took
out of
us
the
out
place.
of the studio. He
Who's
said,
that?
"You
Which
guys
Johnny?
need to
Johnson from the Techniques?
um no Glady from Stranger and Glady."
Oh, straight. Oh, okay, okay. Keith is in with us. Keith,
Can you guys
welcome
hear
to
me?
Sunday School.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
we can
man.
hear you. We can hear you loud and clear.
Hearing you loud and clear.
Rudy's having some issues getting in, all right?
We
So
might
I was working with him, but
not going anywhere. Listen,
not successful.
the train is on the road, so we are on the rails, so we have to we have to keep running. But how did you yourself come into this business, Keith?
Well, let's see. I was always interested in singing.
Right.
As a child, I was influenced by my mother, who always had music in the house, and she herself could sing really well. But and so the influence around you, I used to go to school, Franklin Town, and back in those days of radio fusion, you hear music playing, and I heard this guy singing, man, Delroy Wilson.
Little boy at them
I'm in
time.
a dancing mood, and
Yeah.
them kind of music, man. And I used to sing along with him, I said, well, I can sing too, you know. You recognize that, but even before that, I my parents were pastors, so there was a lot of singing in the church, and from a young age, I could sing, I could carry a tune, and so my father, when they had conventions, they would he would say to the church, like say they're trying to get money for the church building or to do a project or something. So if you want to hear Keith sing, 216.
To
Two,
six
shilling,
put him up.
two
Come up
shilling
with
and
216.
6 pence.
And they would get the 216, and I'd go up and I'd sing. And then later on, you want to hear Keith sing again? 1
5 shilling.
pound.
Price
Price,
gone up.
price
Yeah,
raised.
man, price gone up, and things like that, and then so you kind of get the bug, of singing. And then when I went to Kingston College, well, even before that, in Franklin Town High School on Fridays they had talent concerts, and I would sing then. And then when I went to Kingston College, uh, I found guys who had similar talent and similar likings,
Right.
and interest, and we formed a band called the Mighty. What was it?
Mystics.
The Mighty Mystics. Yes, yes, yes. And the
The
rest is
rest is
history.
history. Who were you? Because you went to KC what year?
63.
63. That means that you're there with uh, what was his name? The sax keyboard player, Jackie Mitu.
Jackie Mitu was there. Yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah, man.
You would have been there with what's his name too? Oh my goodness, memory failing me. So in old age is a hell of a thing. But but
Yeah.
it's,
Paro was in my class. Paro who played drums for Scatterlight now. Who else? Trombonist Poco was there.
right.
Who else was there? I think Barry from Paragons was there. Um, but they were older than me, so they were in more
Well,
senior classes.
well, so you guys, you were part of the group. You and Tex were in the same group together at then. Because from what our little research say, after Coxon and all of them, I think you went to Prince Buster, Tex. Prince Buster was one of them. Coxon, Duke Reed, who else? But
No,
then
we didn't go to Jackson. We went to Prince Buster. We went to Duke Reed,
Yeah,
and then we went downtown.
right.
And
Derek
what-
Harriet decided to record you guys.
Yeah. We
What
were
was the
trying to
first
get
tune? What was the tune he recorded at the time?
first one was Tonight.
tonight.
tonight. Well, let's give the listeners a little taste of that, and then we come back.
Yeah.
Because it's a long, the story long, and we're gonna carry all of those stories. Right?
Yes.
Who wrote the song?
I did.
Keith write the song.
Who played the bass on that?
Um, the bass player from the Mighty Vikings. What's it? I forget his name now.
Memory man, memory feel.
No, don't bother because it's going to embarrass the whole of it. So, but
Yeah,
if I remember though, in those days, what's his name? Lynn Tate would have been because that guitar styling sound Lynn Tate-ish.
It's exactly him.
Exactly. It was he.
There you go. There's some elements. In fact, there's a view out there that the father of Rocksteady music in Jamaica, is Lynn Tate. And you guys give us your feedback on that.
For sure.
I don't know if I would call him the father, but I would call him an integral part of reggae music, without which the Rocksteady, especially, that sound, that Rocksteady sound. By the way, Rocksteady is so short-lived, but that is the music that has lasted the longest.
Yes, absolutely.
We actually did a program a couple weeks ago. Remember that guy where we're looking at the top 60 songs, and it was when we got into that Rocksteady era,
between
2.5 years, 66
and 68
to 68, and we had a problem to find, because it's as you just said, Keith, it's one of the richest area of our music.
And Richard, not only is the volume of music which was produced, and not just the volume, it was the quality of the music.
The vibes in it. It was like a romantic kind of smooth kind of singing.
It sort of epitomized. In fact, for me, as and I do a lot of social commentary and writing. I've always maintained that mid 1960s period, 66 to 68, going into 69.
69,
yeah.
69.
Was what I call the golden period in Jamaica.
Exactly what I was saying.
Yeah. Yes, Tex. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I've said that too. Like that period of music in Jamaica is Jamaica's golden age of music. And that's what living on in posterity for our vibes. So you're totally right, man. That's the way I feel about it.
All right. Now, you guys had your relationship. Tell us about that with Derek Harriott, because Derek Harriott represented another side of the music. I don't necessarily think that the industry, outside of him being as a performer, the industry places much emphasis on the work
as
that
a
he
producer.
did. Yes.
And we did an interview with him some months ago too.
Right. So give us your thoughts on that relationship.
Well, as kids, young guys, 15, 16, we're kind of gullible. We like talent. We looked up to him as, a great teacher, a guy with great talent. We never had our minds on the production aspect or, the reward we could get from doing recordings. I think like the temptation was there, like with all promoters, to utilize artists, take what you can get, and because we're young, we didn't know any better. But suffice to say, I don't think he treated us as fairly as he could have.
Right.
I think there's a lot to be desired in the way he treated us, and that will go down, in my mind as one of the great injustices that's done to us.
Keith,
I don't know what Keith's opinion is.
Yeah. No, listen, that's what this program is about. One of the things we're trying to do, and just so we, lay the foundation, is our view has always been, our little team here at Yard Media, and, though you've seen myself and Garth on the screen, there's Magic, who is the magician behind all of this, and his wife, Judy. But we have the view that the music, the stories behind the music is a lot bigger than the music itself. And in fact, what we're really trying to do here is to tell the stories together, bring them together.
Right.
And then sweeten it up with some of the music.
And then, without a doubt, because that's what is the driver. But the most important thing is, I understand I was looking back and trying to throw dirt on anybody, but there are stories.
But there are certain realities,
Yeah,
yeah.
and if you experience cuts in life, you have the scars to show it.
Absolutely. And so, but it's for you guys. Here's an opportunity to tell that story, and that's what we're trying to do. So, Keith, your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts are, you know, before I even speak on the negative side of the business aspect of a relationship with him, I have to acknowledge that he gave us the opportunity. You know what I mean? Without that opportunity, we wouldn't be here today talking. So I acknowledge that. Personally, I trusted Derek Harriott to take care of two kids. I was 16 years old, man. You know, I trusted him because he's a very personable person, and he, we fell under his spell, so to speak. And but we trusted him to take care of us. You know what I mean? And he didn't. I will be forever disappointed in that because it's been over 50 years, and until this day, we have not been remunerated. You know what I mean? So I will always be disappointed. I'll give him credit for the opportunity, but that's about it, man. And that's the truth.
So your first record you did, this record here we did,
This anthem.
this anthem, yeah, because it's bigger than a record. This you did with him.
Yes.
Yes.
All our recordings were done with Derek.
We didn't do another promoter.
Yeah, you never worked with any other promoter?
No.
Nope, not in the
Producer.
60s. No.
Wow. No other producer?
In the 60s.
Well, Keith worked with
that time.
Scratch later on, but
I did some singles with Lee Scratch Perry. But
Wow. Listen, the catalog that for us you represent is one of the core of Jamaica's rocksteady music. You cannot play a rocksteady selection. God is and Magic play music, that is what them for them aki. And they will tell you can't play
when
no
you're
party.
talking a song
right?
like Stop That Train,
Yeah.
and of course you have to play part 2 to that, and then of course Big Youth come on later on with and then you have Tonight, then you have Leaving on That Train, then you have Lonely Man and Don't Look Back. I mean, those are hits.
gotcha, man.
Well, we want to touch some of those a couple of those sides, and then we want to dig a little deeper. You guys, it's a long time, as you both said, 50 years. 50 years is a whole heap of time. I will say this to you, for two men who have been in this thing for 50 years, you don't show it at all.
Yeah, Tex look like him just graduated from high
Yes,
school.
we need you to send me the recipe and the food where I eat, pardon. I'm telling you. But God, run some of those anthem songs.
Yes. Lonely Man. Before that you heard Leaving on That Train. And then I don't understand. First thing I want to go up on the train, and then I tell us then I leave on the train.
What the thing I would love Keith explain, because that last shot that we had with the Tony
Lonely Man.
Curtis
Yes.
hairstyle. And the Tony Curtis hairstyle. Tex still have a little hair, but what up?
Keep your leave
hey,
on the
man,
train.
life took it.
life took the hair.
Yeah, man.
Life's a bitch, man.
But seriously, those again, the belly of the rocksteady era, and you guys were the small and the large, well, the stomach in fact, because the intestines is what let out the thing. You guys were critical. I mean, when you play one of those tunes, we almost want to just continue play tune for the rest of the afternoon here, because it is that invigorating. you guys are in a production mode, youngsters, because looking at that Keaton Tex photograph there with the Tony Curtis hairstyle, you still have breast milk around on the side of the mouth.
Yes,
You
sir.
know?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you
I'm
know.
looking youth, you know.
Talk about the experience of being in a studio environment. We're gonna be running into a break in a little bit, so here what we're going to do, because we want to develop that, and I don't want to cut you. We're gonna run a one tune. We're gonna take the break, come back, but I want to hear from you guys the thoughts as a youngster in a studio environment. At this point when the music is now finding its way. That
Yeah.
And
I subscribe. I don't know. I subscribe to the idea that reggae music is a world music. Okay, I subscribe to that, and I'll tell you why I say that. Because it's a world music because everybody around the world is playing it. Okay, but it's a Jamaican music, strictly
is
Jamaican music.
born of Jamaica
Born
from
of
the
Jamaica,
experiences that you guys had. Yeah.
experience of Jamaican culture. No one else plays it as well as we do, and no one has the authenticity that we
Big,
do.
that's
Now,
and which I tell everyone, when you come to America, you don't get Jamaican food in America. You get Jamaican style food. If you want Jamaican food, you have to go to Jamaica.
Jamaica.
Yeah, we prepare it like you would do it in Jamaica, but it's not Jamaican food, Jamaican style.
I,
A
I,
good,
I,
a good
So you get
analogy.
reggae style. When them do it up here, is reggae style.
I want to go beyond that. For me, reggae is not just a music, in my opinion.
So we have
Reggae is an experience, and that experience, reggae is born out of a time when the country is shifting in terms of its own socio-economic positioning. The impact of the whole geopolitics on a small place like Jamaica. But at the time, all those experiences is producing this level of creativity that is unparalleled anywhere else in the world. People
Correct.
who have no experience. You guys go in a studio, as you say, you go a Duke Reed and them chase you out of the place and things. But you stuck with it because it was a belief, it's a part of your core.
Right.
And then the songs you're expressing are songs that were built from your own personal experience. That's what reggae music is. It's not just a
That's
song, it's an experience, it's a way of life. And so to be able to transpose, to take that and internationalize it. Because what happened is people now look down and looking around and hearing these songs and realizing, but hey, we are having the same experiences too.
and then you can identify
And
with
they
it.
identify with it.
And then once you identify with that experience, you can use it to uplift the other people.
Absolutely. And that's what those two songs you guys did is a demonstration of that. And that's what, for me, that's reggae. That's the power of reggae music.
Yeah.
Right?
Agreed. Yeah. Like I said, we've been all over the world, and a lot of people play reggae music. However, they lack the authenticity. You know what I mean? When we go on stage, and we sing Rocksteady, you hear Rocksteady. You hear Rocksteady in the vocals, at least. You know what I mean? Now, the guys who back us all over the world study the music. By the way, they study it. You know, the Germans they study it like they're making a German car. The Japanese, they study it like they're making a Toyota. You know what I'm saying? So they do it well.
So
But-
they've mastered the mechanics, but they have not had the experience to go with it.
Yeah, yeah.
The life experience,
The vibe is close, but not the same.
but not the same because of the life
You can tell the
experience.
difference between a Jamaican made song and a foreign made song. Like, those guys are technically correct, technically great, but it's a certain vibe. I mean, I don't know how
Yeah, we
quantify
experience
vibe.
that as DJs too. For those of us who grew up with the music, whether it is R&B, reggae, ska,
Yeah.
when we put the record on the turntable and we play it, there's a certain vibe. We play it based on the fact that we know the music and we experience the music in the party. When a kid who's 18 years old when he play the same set of music, you get a total different feel because he has no
No
energy to
experience.
draw, no experience to draw on that music. By
He
the
has an
way,
experience with it. Yeah.
Tex, we need to make Shaggy pay some royalties now. He's not the original Shaggy.
That's right. That's
I
right.
got that. I got that. Yeah. 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 You
We
got a
call him
point.
Shaggy. We call him Shaggy because it is here.
Yeah, man, we know. That's why he call himself
That's
Shaggy
why him
too.
call himself Shaggy too. But speaking of royalties, and I know it's a touchy subject
Touchy
because
subject.
we visited it at the beginning of the show, and I think it's appropriate that we think
Getting to the end. Yeah.
we get back to as we kind of come to the end of the we're coming there. Royalties. You one of the songs that is a massive standout is Stop That Train. The Harder They Come. Harder They Come is a multi-cultural anthem, if you will. It's a iconic movie around the world.
Cult
right?
favorite.
It's classified as a cult movie, and so much has been done with The Harder They Come as
And
a
its,
product.
and its soundtrack.
Right. Soundtrack. In fact, the soundtrack is listed as one of the greatest ever movie soundtrack, bar anything else. And we are talking about thousands of movies have been made, and the recording industry say it. Them said this is one of the greatest soundtrack for movies ever made. Right?
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No,
No,
sir.
I had no clue about that.
When they put the music, because the music was representing that it's Jamaica taking itself now to the world, and so the industry regards it as a standard, if you will.
Okay.
Right. Oh, what was the royalties you guys get out of that?
Well, when you want to hear the truth,
Yeah.
nothing.
Well,
Let me
I,
tell you
I,
that.
I have a contact that I'm gonna put you guys on to, right? Because the creative part of that particular song and the songs of that era, you guys are on the recording as the owners, writers, whatever.
No. The song belonged to a group called the Spanish Tonians. We we changed some of the lyrics and did it a different way, but the original song was by the Spanish Tones. That's
Yeah,
ska
but
song,
that version, the original song is a different matter. That
right?
version of the song
Belongs to us. Yeah,
belongs to you. All
yeah.
right. I'm going to put you guys on to somebody who, I'm not promising you anything, but if you think you can buy me a drink still, right? But because, you know, knowing is the biggest thing, right?
That is true.
Knowing is the biggest thing. We're in an environment now where music, you have to break down the ownership of music. And so if you don't claim it, you know, get nothing.
Yeah,
And that's why I asked the question in terms of who is listed on the creative. But even if it's a rework song, right?
right.
It still has some ownership. The first
Yes.
owner, yes, eat a
Yeah.
food. But you
Yeah.
guys rewrote this song, and that's why I asked, are you listed in the creative process? At the end of the program, I'm gonna put you on to somebody, and
Right.
I'm gonna connect the two of you guys, and you work on that. And remember, buy me a drink when you right.
Well,
Got it?
No, I'm looking at the catalog. I'm looking at the body of work. And we also can't forget that Rudy was supposed to be part of this today. So we have to go play
Yes.
John Jones too, and we played Long Story before. But, you know, I'm looking at the Freedom album, and I realized that you probably did the album. You had a couple of songs on there that you have credited to Liquidator, and then was that a rework, like it reissued under a different label, or was it part of the whole album production? Because I see you have the same thing
Liquidate,
too with Same Old
liquidate.
Story.
Yeah, Liquidator is the record company that put it out, but the writing is Tex and myself. The lyrics, the music was done by Robert Sanchez out of Spain.
Well, I see you guys do a nice like a track here, which is like a ska style called Hotel Corona.
Yeah.
I'm going to play a couple of tracks from that album real quick, and then we'll
Yeah.
get back because we're getting to that point where we have to wrap up.
Hi there. If you enjoyed that clip, go on over to our website at yardmedia.com where you can watch the entire broadcast at your leisure. And while you're there, why don't you check out our other reggae music features? And before you leave, pick up some of our Jamaican reggae merchandise, and hey, don't forget to tell your friends.